Hello everyone, this is Club 10M Plus's exciting new podcast that's here for you. We are all about stories, new developments and learning about individuals. Our hope is that you will join us every week to hear about our distinguished guests. We hope to inspire you, bring you laughter and make you reflect. Our guests come from all walks of life and primarily they want to share their stories. Not sure about you, but I love a good story. So Club 10M Plus have devoted their time to creating these podcasts, to sharing great ideas and stories and much more. So tune in every week to make sure that you don't miss out. It could be you next week. Want to know more? We want to hear your stories. So sign up and be our next guest. Hey, hi Nick, and welcome. See, I have got someone rather special on the show today. He is not only is he CEO, author, coach. Nick is a keynote speaker, which means he's done TEDx. The very art of communication, and I want you to listen to that word closely, is going to be demonstrated, we hope, by Nick's ability to talk to everyone. And I think I'm going to let Nick speak to us about that indirectly. If you haven't followed Nick, then this is something you need to do going forward, because he's written lots of books. I mean, I just can't keep going on about all the other things. So we're going to go into this, and I'm going to start off by saying welcome.
Well, thank you, Krista. Thanks so much. You say, your intro, and thanks for the lovely intro. In terms of communication, I would ask you, communication is so vast. It means something different to every person. What does it mean to you?
Good question. Yeah. Well, I would say what you've just asked me is what I think. And now I respond, I think, is what I should be doing. So what does it mean to me? It means that you're listening to what I'm saying and I'm hearing what you're saying to me, and we're actually having a conversation. That would be the first communication. The second would be when I just shush and I say nothing and I look at you. And that could be in so many different ways because our bodies do that. That's just the two I could think of.
I love it. And so for me to sit here and say this is what communication is, I certainly have my process, I have my principles that I follow and that I coach, but the fundamentals of communication are what you actually just shared, which is we have to listen to each other, and then we have to be present with each other. And if we can listen, truly listen, and be engaged and present in the moment of that presentation or conversation, then it can be truly engaging and truly have an impact. But those, so if somebody were to say, hey, tell me what's important about communication, it's important. What's important about it is different at different times to different people. And so that's why I wanted to kind of turn the tables, if you will, back onto you, and to our listeners or your listeners, to say, when we're communicating, it is something actually, and this is one of the things I share in my talks, is that we take it for granted. That there's this, and I offer, my TEDx talk is called Communication is a Gift. And I truly believe it's a gift. I'll share this story. I think you asked when we were chatting pre-interview about stories, and one comes to mind that fits with this. And I have shared this before. So if you've seen my TED Talk, you'll know that I'm sharing something that I share at the very end of that talk, which is that I'm a runner. And I've trained with some dear friends of mine on distance runs for many, many years. For over almost 15 years, I've run with the same group of people. And One day I was not feeling great, meaning my leg hurt. We were training for a marathon, so it was very long distance. I was tired. I was grumpy. And I turned to my friend Mary and I said to Mary, I said, this sucks. Like I'm really not enjoying this. And she just, without skipping a beat, she said, today is a gift. And I was grumpy, remember? So I didn't just immediately go, oh, you're right, Mary. That's so true. What I said was, yeah, who said that? And she said, without skipping a beat, Master Shifu from Kung Fu Panda, the kids movie. And no, it's not. And it turns out it's Eleanor Roosevelt. Right? Eleanor Roosevelt said, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, today is a gift. That's why it's called the present. It's a great quote.
Yeah,
I love it. And I share it, that little story, because I've taken that quote and modified it a bit, because I think we do take our day for granted. Like whether it's raining and it's beautiful, or the flowers are coming up, or it's snowing, wherever you are, there's beauty in the world, and there's moments of beauty that we take for granted. But we also take for granted this innate skill that we have, that we're using right now. You're doing it right now with your body language, with your smile, with your reaction. Okay. Oh, you're still doing it, actually. And it's communication. And if we take it for granted, which I think we do, we think, I can wing it. I don't need to plan for this. I don't need to really think through what I want to say or how I want to say it. We are actually missing out on an opportunity to have a real impact on the world. And I know, Krista, that impact is of huge importance to you in the work you do, and especially in your Pitch the Panther programs and your investments and all of the work that you do with organizations and companies. And I think that it all starts with communication.
absolutely. So, did I pass or did I fail? I mean, I'm not sure. Is there a pass rate or a fail rate when you communicate? Is there a way we can measure this? Because this is the blue side of me coming out and saying, well, is there a target on your back? Did you communicate well today? And how well did you do? And how do you know you did well? Because there's got to be a line that you go, below this line, you did not do very well today. I mean, I'm being on a sticky note.
Yeah, no. It's funny. Like, obviously you're type A, you're wanting to achieve, and you're wanting to like, how did I do? First of all, you did great, Krista. Like and there was no test. I wasn't testing you.
Oh, okay.
It was a conversation about what you believe and what you feel is communication is important when it comes to communication. But fundamentally, we know when we're communicating with impact, because we're getting reactions like I'm getting from you, smiles, nodding of the head. We're getting questions. These are like the ultimate signs that we are actually engaging. Now, if we are getting questions where we're getting frustrated by the questions, like, why are they asking that? That might be a sign that you can do better. I mean, one of the things and one of the reasons why I do what I do and why I've built my company to do what it does is we're at an incredible inflection point in our world, where we have exponential technologies that are changing the way we educate, the way we take care of health, science, technology. It's changing massive industries, shifts that are going on every day. And then at the same time, those same exponential technologies are changing the way we communicate. Just think about the 3 different platforms we could have used, or sorry, I should have said 24 platforms we could have used just for this conversation right now, let alone how we may have communicated leading up to it. And we could have used email, we could have used Slack, we could have used a whole slew of different WhatsApp. We could go on and on and on. So those two, the exponential growth and change in industry and the exponential growth in communication tools are combining to create a potential but it's unfulfilled because we don't have the fundamental skills as leaders, as individuals. We're not practicing communication. We're winging it 99% of the time. So there are some core principles that I share in my book. By the way, I've got one book. I like to just correct you on that one. One book.
I'm sorry.
Called, it's all good. I just, I don't like to say something.
Hang on a minute. You've got another one in the making. There you go.
I do. You are right. That is correct. So I wrote this book, Impact, and Krista, the three principles are very simple, yet very challenging to embrace on a daily basis, which are simplify. We need to take our messaging, and a lot of the times it's complex because we are an expert in our field, or we are know what we want or need to say, but we come with the curse of the clutter of knowledge. It's the curse of knowledge, right? Which is not a curse. It's a blessing, but it's a curse when we have to try and get it out. So we need to simplify, and we have tools that we teach on how to do that. And then we embrace the age-old tool of storytelling. It's the principle of transform. Storytelling and language combined is all about transforming that simplified content. And then the third and final principle is performance, or a performance mindset. Mm-hmm. So I did a little minor dramatic pause there. As a purposefully performance driven, meaning I did that to see if I could get a little reaction. You nodded your head and you made a sound, right? So now I'm using that performance mindset to engage with you, to ensure that you're with me. If you were looking elsewhere, you're not, but if you were looking elsewhere or kind of blank around, I might follow up with a question now, because I'm reading the room in a different way, reading the person I'm communicating with in a different way. So those are the core principles: simplify, transform, perform. Those are how we communicate with impact.
So our takeaway today is to simplify, to transform, and to perform. So STP in my world kind of then says that's what I need to do. And you're right. Every time we open our mouth, it's our moment to perform and to put our best foot forward. And if we don't do that, then someone else will. And more importantly, with that knowledge, you're absolutely right. The more knowledge we have, the harder it is to keep it simple. I mean, I've had conversations with people on there, like on another spectrum, and I'm sat there going, if only you actually knew that I didn't understand a word of what you've just been saying, although it's in the same language as me. That in itself, that glazed look, and about reading the room and all these things is so, so important. And Nick, we could talk for hours, but I think today has been a real pivotal moment. So if there's nothing else that we remember about this conversation, we will have our simplify, transform, and perform. And I thank you very much for being part of this today and for joining us and giving us that little nugget. And if you ever want to see a TEDx talk, go and look Nick up, because he's amazing. And I wish you really well for today. And I hope you have a fantastic day, because that's to come, isn't it? And be in the, what was it? Be in the
moment, be present.
In the moment, present. Yeah. Always be present. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me on your podcast. Great to be here.
Hello everyone, this is Club 10M Plus's exciting new podcast that's here for you. We are all about stories, new developments, and learning about individuals. Our hope is that you will join us every week to hear about our distinguished guests. We hope to inspire you, bring you laughter, and make you reflect. Our guests come from all walks of life, and primarily they want to share their stories. Not sure about you, but I love a good story. So Club 10M Plus have devoted their time to creating these podcasts to sharing great ideas and stories and much more. So tune in every week to make sure that you don't miss out. It could be you next week. Want to know more? We want to hear your stories, so sign up and be our next guest